Hello, you're tuning in the English News Bulletin on QPVN channel. I'm Nguyễn, and now let me keep you up to date with the headlines. 15 years of twinning between Vietnamese and Lao localities celebrated. Healing post-war wounds. National Day atmosphere felt in Hanoi. A conference was recently held to review the 15-year twinning between the border communities of A Ho, Thanh Nguyen, and Thanh O villages in Hương Hóa District, Quảng Trị Province of Vietnam, and Den Villay, Pa Rieng, and Pha Lo Co villages in Nong District, Savanakhet Province of Laos. The twinning was first established on August 14, 2009, during a formal ceremony where both sides agreed upon and signed a 12-point cooperation framework based on the principles of the Vietnam-Laos Border Management and Land Border Gate regulations. Over the past 15 years, both sides have strictly adhered to the agreement. They have collaborated with their respective bodyguard forces to organize 142 joint border patrols, involving nearly 2,000 participants. Additionally, 52 regular and 14 emergency meetings were held, with a total attendance of 3,460 people. These efforts have facilitated timely information exchange on economic development and the livelihoods of residents on both sides of the border, thereby enhancing the quality and effectiveness of the partnership. Residents of these border communities always support each other in times of difficulty, providing hundreds of gifts and assistance in both material and spiritual forms. The combined military-civilian medical stations and commune health centers have conducted free medical examinations, distributed medicines, and provided treatment to over 3,200 Lao patients. On the morning of August 25th, the General Department of Defense Industry organized a conference to commend outstanding students in the 2019-2024 period, who are children of its officers and workers. Among 100 outstanding students at the event, representing some 19,000 children of the officers and workers, many won prizes at the national or provincial competition for excellent students, while many overcame their families' difficult circumstances to lead a better life with their good academic results. At the conference, leaders of the General Department of Defense Industry asked the chains of command to continue to take good care of children of their officers and workers in terms of physical health and academic process, creating good conditions for them to live and learn. A delegation from the Vietnam's National Steering Committee 515 for the search, collection, and identification of martyrs' remains, led by Senior Lieutenant General Võ Minh Lương, Deputy Defense Minister and Deputy Head of the Committee 515, recently conducted a working visit to the U.S. The delegation held several meetings with relevant agencies and influential politicians in the U.S., paving the way for new initiatives in the search and collection of remains of both missing American soldiers and fallen Vietnamese martyrs from the war. This cooperation serves as a model of how former foes can become strategic partners and friends in international relations. The U.S. National Archives and Records Administration is home to 35,000 files on the war in Vietnam, with each file exceeding 1,200 pages in length. This vast repository contains crucial information that could help clarify the locations where Vietnamese martyrs fell during the resistance against the American imperialists. Not only could this lead to the discovery of unknown martyr graves, it may also help identify those whose information remains unclear. Senior Lieutenant General Võ Minh Lương led the delegation in a series of meetings with prominent U.S. political figures. During these meetings, both sides praised the progress of Vietnam-U.S. cooperation, particularly following the elevation of their relationship to a comprehensive strategic partnership. Among the key areas of focus is the ongoing collaboration to address the war's aftermath. U.S. representatives expressed gratitude to the Vietnamese government and Ministry of National Defense for assisting in the search for missing American soldiers. They also reaffirmed the U.S. commitment to continuing its support for Vietnam, including sharing related information and memorabilia, enhancing assistance in DNA testing technology, and building a database and DNA bank for martyrs and their relatives. Notably, Kelly McKeague, director of the U.S. Defense POWMIA accounting agency, emphasized that just 10 years after the war ended, Vietnam initiated its first effort to assist the U.S. in searching for missing soldiers from the war. At that time, nothing could force Vietnam to do this, yet the country implemented this work with noble humanitarian spirit. Mr. Kelly McKeague expressed his emotion at the assistance and friendliness of the Vietnamese localities and people given to such teams of the U.S. Even though many of them had relatives who were Vietnamese soldiers killed during the war, the head of the U.S. Defense POWMIA accounting agency thanked the Vietnamese government and people for these noble deeds. Senior Lieutenant General Vo Minh Luong thanked and highly appreciated efforts of U.S. organizations, agencies, and individuals who supported the implementation of post-war consequences relief activities in Vietnam. Particularly, the U.S. side assisted Vietnam to promote the signing of the adjustment of the non-refundable aid agreement for the project on dioxin remediation in the Bien Hoa Airport in September 2023, thereby officially increasing the non-refundable aid for the project from $183 million to $300 million, adding $30 million to the project on improving the quality of life of persons with disabilities in areas heavily sprayed with Agent Orange. General Luong affirmed that Vietnam always pays attention to and closely coordinates with the U.S. side in searching for U.S. servicemen missing in action. Currently, the two sides are conducting the 156th joint search since the first operation in 1971. Both sides have isolated and found many keepsakes related to U.S. servicemen in waters of Nha Trang, Khánh Hòa. In July 2024, the two sides coordinated to repatriate remains of U.S. servicemen missing in action, the 166th of its kind. Through the working visit, both sides agreed to further enhance the sense of responsibility, dissemination, and coordination work in resolving the post-war consequences. During the working trip, the delegation worked with the Harvard University while having a workshop with the Ash Center on new research in searching for data on missing soldiers, especially Vietnamese martyrs. During the working visit, Senior Lieutenant General Vo Minh Luong was very surprised and touched when he was handed over the report document on information of keepsakes, including his father's ones. Coming up next, Australian Senate delegation visits Chang'an complex. National Day atmosphere felt in Hanoi. National Assembly Vice Chairwoman Nguyễn Thị Thanh accompanied President of the Australian Senate Sue Lines and her entourage during a tour to the Chang'an World Cultural and Natural Heritage Complex in Ninh Bình on August 25th as part of the Senator's ongoing official visit to Vietnam. National Assembly Vice Chairwoman Nguyễn Thị Thanh expressed her delight to welcome and introduce to the delegation the famous landscapes, the pride of people in Ninh Bình in particular, and Vietnam in general. She hopes that through the visit, the Australian delegation would better understand the land and people of Ninh Bình, thereby helping promote the tourism potential and strengths of Ninh Bình to Australian investors and people. Visiting the Chang'an Landscape Complex, Australian Senator Sue Lines and her entourage conveyed their appreciation for the enthusiasm, friendliness, and hospitality of the local tourism workers, while expressing their impression of the outstanding global values of culture, history, geology, and geomorphology of the complex. The Vietnam Fruit and Vegetables Association has just released its most recent report, which shows that fruit and vegetable exports are expected to reach approximately $4.6 billion in the first 8 months of the year, up 29% from the same period last year. China remains the largest market, followed by the U.S. and South Korea. Specifically, Thailand, which was previously ranked the 6th behind Japan and Taiwan, was now moved up to 4th place. In the past 7 months, Thailand's turnover reached $123 million, a 70% increase from the previous year. Thailand has shown the highest growth rate in purchasing Vietnamese agricultural products in the first 7 months of the year. Deputy Prime Minister Chen Hong-ha has signed a decision approving the master plan for urban and rural areas in the period of 2021-2030 with a vision to 2050. According to the plan, there are 5 centrally run cities, including the capital city of Hanoi, Ho Chi Minh City, Haiphong, Cần Thơ, and Da Nang. The government targets to speed up and improve the quality of urbanizations, develop the urban and rural systems in a more effective and comprehensive manner, and build synchronous and modern infrastructure. The plan also aims to develop urban areas as key centers for politics, administration, economy, culture, society, science and technology, transportation hubs, investment attractions, and human resource development. The goal is to build at least 5 cities of international stature, serving as key hubs for connection and development within regional and global networks. These urban areas will not only expand in size, but also improve in quality, thereby enhancing the country's standing on the international stage. Recently, the Malaysia-Vietnam Friendship Association and the University of Malaya organized an international conference on cultural exchange, economic cooperation, and friendship connection between Vietnam and Malaysia. The event drew hundreds of overseas Vietnamese, along with lecturers and students from the school. At the event, the cultural performances attracted the audience. The program began with the singing and dancing performance Mười Nước Mười Chầu, featuring Quan Họ folk songs, which left a strong impression. Traditional Malaysian dances, including Tarian Zapin and Tarian Joget, showcased the elegance and sophistication of Malaysian culture. Dancers Raden Alicia Shakira and Cheryl Shakira expressed their honor at participating in the event and shared the admiration for Vietnamese culture.
I'm very excited and thankful for the performance, and I am grateful that I got to perform at such an event. And before this, I'm not really exposed to the Vietnamese culture, but now I am, and I'm very grateful for that.
In her opening speech, Professor Dr. Yvonne Lim Alian, Associate Deputy Vice-Chancellor at the University of Malaysia, highlighted that the program offers a chance for people from both countries to explore each other's unique cultures. Deputy Ambassador of Vietnam to Malaysia, Nguyễn Thị Ngọc Anh, said that after more than half a century of diplomatic relations, the two countries have been building a special friendship and cooperation across various fields, including cultural and people-to-people exchanges. During the event, photos showcasing the Vietnam-Malaysia friendship were displayed alongside traditional dishes from both countries, adding further highlights to the program. The streets of Hanoi these days are wearing a new coat, vibrant with flags, flowers, and banners. Feeling the atmosphere of the people nationwide, looking forward to the National Day of September the 2nd, foreigners coming to Vietnam also give the city special respect. Visiting Vietnam for the first time, these two tourists are amazed at the sight of flags and banners decorated along the streets. Learning about the upcoming National Day of September the 2nd, they're excited to capture these moments together. I'm impressed with all of the streets covered in red colors of flags and banners. It's something I've never seen before, and I can feel the patriotism of Vietnamese people through it. I'm glad to be a part of the celebration of Vietnam National Day. This is an exhibition on Vietnam's National Day, September the 2nd, on Trần Tiền Street, which attracts many tourists. On display here are heroic historical images of the Vietnamese people. I'm fascinated by the story of Hanoi's National Day. Not only I can hear about it, I can see it right on the streets. I'm proud of the Vietnamese people's history of fighting for national independence. The painting decorated along the streets attracted and brought me here to learn more about this great holiday. These days, many streets in Hanoi are decorated with colorful banners, propaganda paintings, large billboards. Everyone wants to capture the moment of the brilliant and peaceful capital city.
tinh thần yêu nước.
I'm proud to see the patriotism of Vietnamese people being widely promoted and preserved for generations. The atmosphere of the great National Day can be seen on the streets of Hanoi. Walking under the red color of the national flag, many people and international tourists admire the heroic historical tradition of the Vietnamese people. And that's all for now. Remember, you can always watch news again at qpvn.vn. Now, thank you for watching and hope to see you next time.